Are you looking for a newish sports car that you can drive comfortably on the freeway on the way to the racetrack that doesn't break the bank?
Well, these are the top 6 sports cars under $25,000 that aren't old.
I'm Lenny.
And I'm Noah.
Let's get into it. We're trying to narrow down what car can make this list. It wasn't easy.
We had to break it down to the basics: performance, reliability, practicality, and budget. So the first car on this list is the legendary Ford Mustang GT.
You might think you know everything about the Mustang GT. Well, I'm here to tell you that you don't. So let's break down all the main reasons of why it made it on this list.
Now, the Coyote engine is a 5-liter 4-cam V8. It features a dual overhead cam design, and it's the first Ford V8 to use twin independent variable camshaft timing, which optimizes performance and efficiency.
And it's built with a lightweight aluminum block and heads. Oh, and the compression ratio on this bad boy is 11:1.
Now, this initial engine made 412 horsepower and 390 torque.
Now, you can pick up a 2015 to 2017 Mustang GT with some high mileage for around 20 grand. If you want to spend a few more $1,000s, you can get one with low mileage.
I had a 2017 Mustang GT. That thing was awesome. Had the Brembo brakes, had the 6-speed manual transmission, had the nice 373 gearing. It even had built-in line lock, so I could press a button on the steering wheel and it'll hold the front brakes. So I just rip those burnouts, easy peasy. And I took it to the track a few times, ran up and down the drag strip. Car was just a whole beast.
I remember riding passenger in that car. That thing was raw, man. I mean, what else could you ask for a budget sports car? Which leads me into the next car on this list, the legendary Chevy Corvette.
Now, the Mustang is a great, solid pick. The Corvette has always given it a run for its money.
That's right, and to fully understand how the Corvette got to where it is today, I'm gonna have to take you back all the way to the 1950s. First introduced in 1953 at the Motorana show in New York, Chevrolet built only 300 examples, and while it has grown to great popularity today, the Corvette was not initially received well by car buyers.
The first Corvette that was produced came with the legendarily lame Blue Flame inline 6 that only produced 150 horsepower, which is less power than a 1996 Toyota Camry makes.
It wasn't until 1997 until the Corvette actually debuted with the LS1, marking a new generation for the old style Gen 1 and Gen 2 small block Chevy that dated back to the 50s. The Corvette LS engine platform lasted from 1997 until 2013, with the last LS-powered Corvette being the C6.
Now, you can pick up a Corvette 2011 to 2013 for around the low to mid 20s, which is a whole lot of car for the money.
No, it's an absolute ton of car. And what I like about the Corvette especially is the Chevy never made a wimpy Corvette. There's no 4-cylinder, there's no 6-banger. It comes with a 6.2 liter out the box. It's just a ton of car for the money.
Yeah, overall, very solid car. Might have problems with lifters.
Yeah, that's like the only thing, if I was to be worried about anything on an LS, it'd be the lifters, maybe.
Yeah, so I'd recommend slapping some endurance on that one. Overall, solid pick, solid car, probably one of my favorites.
Yeah, definitely. And this leads us into the next car on this list, the Camaro SS.
Now, you take the Corvette, you add 2 seats, you add a little bit of cargo space, you make it overall a little bit more of a practical car. What do you have? You got the Camaro SS.
Now, this thing came out the box with pretty much the same drivetrain, so it made it pretty stout, pretty awesome.
Yes.
Could have got this in a full-blown convertible as well.
Could have got it in a convertible, could have got it in a coupe.
So let's take a deeper dive into what the Camaro has to offer.
Utilizing a very similar and almost identical GM drivetrain to the Corvette, this gives the Camaro a competitive edge with the Mustang. Now, the Camaro and the Mustang have been rivals for the last 60 years. And in 2010, the Camaro SS got the legendary 6.2-liter LS3 V8. Later turned into the 6.2-liter V8 known as the LT1 in 2016.
This Camaro also saw a performance bump to 455 horsepower and 455 foot-pounds of torque. The 2016 Camaro was not only nimble, it was responsive, and it had a weight reduction of up to 200 pounds compared to the previous generation.
And this Camaro could go from 0 to 60 in 4 seconds flat.
Now, what's super cool about the Camaro is that you can pick them up in the mid-teen range, around $15,000, which
Yeah, that's awesome.
it's basically the Corvette drivetrain for way cheaper.
Yeah, LS3, I get a 6-speed manual transmission. They got the retro body lines. It's like having a LS swapped 69 Camaro basically.
Yeah, and personally, I think Mustang did it well. I think Camaro brought back that retro styling a lot better than the Mustang. The way they kept those swooping body lines, I'm a huge fan. I think they look great.
Yeah, I would choose the 5th gen Camaro body lines over the 6th gen.
Okay.
But I would choose the 6th gen interior and obviously handling and drivetrain.
Yeah, it's gonna be a much more modern car with much better features. Now, the next car on this list is not an American car, it's a German car. Can you say the word sports car without the word Porsche?
The Porsche 911 is the car that everyone wants, but it's too expensive for this list, so it's not on it. So what's the cheaper variant? The Porsche Cayman, which is also way too expensive to be on this list. So we're knocking that one out. We're going to the even cheaper variant, which is the Porsche Boxster. Now, before you click away, it's still a rear mid-engine sports car with a Porsche flat six and a manual transmission.
Let's go over all the details of why it made the list.
Now, we can make an hour-long video going over Porsche's legacy and how each model's great, and everyone knows the 996 is the cheap 911 they get. But what if you wanted something a bit newer for the same price?
Now, the base model in 2011 has a 2.9-liter, 255 horsepower engine.
Now, the Boxster S got a 3.4-liter flat six with 315 horsepower.
The Boxster could actually accelerate from 0 to 60 in 5.6 seconds, while the Boxster S could do it in 5 seconds flat.
To sum up all the nerdy facts, this thing is fast and it's cool, and that's why it's on this list. So you can pick up these Porsche Boxsters around the low 20s, which is a really good price for a car that has a fairly modern interior, a lot of modern tech.
And when you talk about the interior on these Porsches, one thing that like pretty much every German car manufacturer does really well is they put really advanced tech in those cars, so that way 10 years later when you buy them for way cheaper after they're depreciated, it doesn't feel like an old car.
Yeah, you get the handling, you get the somewhat power, you get the manual transmission. But that brings us to our next car, which is also a German car with a lot of fancy tech. This one's gonna make all the broccoli heads very happy because it's the BMW M2. With the performance of M cars becoming higher and higher, people wanted a more affordable and tangible way to get into their M car. In 2016, the M2 was created. While the M2 was not the highest horsepower or craziest sounding M car on the market, they are an incredible bang for the buck and will always hold their value due to the sought-after badge on the trunk of the car.
Outfitted with a 3-liter turbocharged inline six that made 365 horsepower and built on the F20 chassis from the 1 Series, the M2 was not only light and nimble for spirited driving, it packed a punch that almost any car nut would go crazy for. Not to mention the interior is premium and reminds you of all the quality and engineering that a German car has. Now, the M2 made it on this list because it's a part of the legendary M division. Now, this is one of the cheapest ways to get yourself into an M car.
What I love about it is it's small, it's short. When you want a car that has good handling characteristics, the easiest way is to make it small, short, lightweight.
Yeah, I mean, it's still got a turbocharged engine, so you're gonna hear all the noises, you're gonna have the turbo feel. Now, what's super cool is you can find these M2s in pretty good condition for the low 20s, and if you wanna get one even cheaper and higher mileage, you can find them in the high teens.
Yeah, and you got the N55, which is a pretty reliable engine. They do have leaky valve covers, leaky oil filter gaskets.
While these problems aren't like the worst in the world, they can add up, and they're big jobs. I mean, I've worked on BMWs many times, and you know, like to get a one little seal or one little part, you gotta take, 16 hours of parts to get to it.
So slap some endurance on it, keep yourself worry-free, and then go drive that car.
Which brings us to the next and final car on this list. We're going to Japan, ladies and gentlemen, the Nissan 370Z.
I don't know about this one. I don't know if this one deserves to be on the list.
Just hold it out. I think after you hear about all the facts of why I put it on the list, you might change your mind.
Let's see.
Stemming from its older brother, the 350Z, the 370Z is an updated 2-door and 2-seater sports car with a 3.7-liter V6 that makes 332 horsepower at 5,200 RPMs. Dubbed the VQ37 VHR, it was able to push the 3,300-pound coupe to 60 miles an hour in only 4.6 seconds. While you could option for the Nismo package, by the way, standing for Nissan Motorsports Division, which came with upgraded Nismo-branded sports brakes, mandatory 6-speed manual transmission, and 350 horsepower, it also came with a larger price tag. Now, while all those facts make this car pretty cool, there's probably one thing that makes it even cooler to me. You could buy these super clapped for next to nothing, but if you want to get one in decent condition with decent mileage, look at like the mid-teens, which isn't too bad.
Yeah, for a clean one. I do like the fact that you can get one with a manual transmission. I do appreciate the fact that, a lot of people like these and, they're somewhat sporty, but I'm not sold on it.
Okay, well, hopefully I sold you guys. Now, it's pretty cool to be in the modern era where you could buy a car that's 10 plus years old and have all these performance stats.
Yeah, all these cars are very capable. The second generation, I call the second generation hot rods and hot rodding.
Yeah.
The early 2000s, the second muscle car era, and so many sports cars are competing with each other. So the power numbers went from early 2000s, 200 horsepower was a big deal, then 300, then 350, then 400, and then 500. So all these cars are very capable, and the fact that you could get all of these under $25,000, it's a smoking deal.
No, I couldn't agree more. And the fact that they just have so much power compared to like cars from 40 years ago.
Yeah, just 10 years ago, these cars were all pretty much brand new, and they were very expensive.
Yeah.
And then the cheap cars were the cars from the early 2000s that didn't make as much power. So we're now at that time where these great performing cars have depreciated, but they're not, barn finds that are sitting and cost a fortune to resurrect.
Makes me think in 10, 20 years from now, are we going to be able to look at the used car market? Every car's going to have 500 horsepower? Is that the world we're going at?
Maybe.
How about we rank these cars from best to worst?
Yeah, that's easy. I'd go Corvette, go Mustang, big Mustang guy. We'll go Porsche Boxster. We'll go M2. People are losing their mind right now hearing that, but I like Porsches. Then we'll go M2. And remember, I still like these cars.
No, they're all...
Four of these I like a lot. Camaro, I like the Camaro. So all 5 of those I like a lot. It's just hard to rank. Then we'll throw the 370Z.
Okay, so it's only last because there's just 5 really good cars.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, that's fair. For me, though, I'm going to have to go Corvette, easily the #1 option. I'm probably going to throw a curveball, then go M2. I like my Beamers. I don't know. Camaro, then I'll go Porsche. Then I'll go 370Z, then Mustang. I'm just not a Mustang guy.
That's crazy.
But anyways, let us know if we rank these in the right order. How would you rank them? Let us know if we missed any cars on this list.
Thank you for watching the Endurance YouTube channel. Make sure you smash the subscribe button, hit the like button. We're the Backspeed Boys, and we'll see you in the next video.